Hey there. Oops. Welcome, welcome. Well, hello, The Bill Show. I'm sorry, that just seems so official to me. The Bill Show. So apparently I have to say it with a deeper voice. How are you? The Bill Show. Yeah, it just keeps playing out as a loop in my head, so it may keep coming out. I don't know. How's the sound? Because I changed from my earbuds because someone was telling me that the earbuds went quiet every once in a while. The sound on them did, so I'm trying what I use for work. So how's the sound? Oh, and actually, there we go. I'll pull up the chat that goes faster. Really? Okay, so let me speak regularly and then judge that. Still think that they're better? Because I have them right here so I can use them. Type faster, Bill. Of the Bill Show. You don't sound anything like that, but in my head, apparently you do. I'm gonna do the test. Okay. Well, now I've gone through and changed. So how's that? I'm all now I've got my wires all mixed up. See what you caused me to do, Bill? That's personal responsibility right there. All right. Okay, better? Welcome. We're just checking sound here. Okay. All right. I tried. All right. So you guys how are you guys doing actually? You're fine, Bill. Have you done anything interesting today? Anything fun? Oh, and I keep losing my chat box. There we go. All right. Maybe. Oh, sleeting and snowing. That is, I enjoy snow when it snows a ton to where we can't go anywhere. Now, where you are, that might, I mean, I don't know that you get a get out of jail free card with snow ever. But where I am, if it snows like a good chunk, then then everything just stops and everybody could stay home and all that. So if that's the case, then I like it. And then for it to just kind of like stick around for a few days and then just be gone. Um, Usually we just get a little skiff of a snow and then it rains and it's gone in a heartbeat. So, but I'm not sure that I would be quite the fan of sleeting and snowing and months of snow and all that kind of stuff. So I'll take in small doses. Oh, you do? Well, that's good. How bad does snow have to be if you get for you to get a snow day? That's what I'd wonder. Okay, so this is a different time I know than I have gone on recently. I'm still kind of playing with, you know, what times and what days and what works. Um, I would like to find something that is a bit more consistent so that people can, um, plan on it and not just surprise everyone with it. But we'll see. I'm working on that. Okay, so um, you've heard of the, in fact, actually, um, so you've heard of some different things that um, areas are doing, like the city of New York banning the use of illegal alien, that term illegal alien under certain circumstances. That's sorry, that's been around for a little bit. So I'm assuming that everybody's heard of that, but we're going to look a little bit at that specifically and at that in general. So get your thoughts ready. Maybe I should say get your fingers warmed up so you can type your responses. Unless you just want to come on, I'll just open that up for possibility. There we go. Okay. All right. Welcome, welcome. So this story is a little bit old, but it's still kind of lingering, and there's still things happening with it. Um, but back in the spring, um, New York. I keep forgetting that I have to swap back and forth between my screens. Okay. So New York came out with this law, and actually New York City. So hang on, and I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay, sorry. That's really funny, actually. Okay, so can you guys, when I scroll on this article, can you guys see me scrolling? Hello, Jordan Woodworking and Do It Yourself. Oh, yeah, you've got some great stuff. Like I said in my comment, I'm I don't do woodworking myself, but um, I enjoy the art of it, so I enjoy seeing that. Okay, so we'll just look at this article for a second from the Heritage Foundation. New York City will fine you for saying illegal alien. Um, and I'll just kind of skip a little bit of their portion of it. The city's Commission on Human Rights recently released new legal enforcement guidelines that ban the use of the term illegal alien by employers, housing providers, including hotels, and law enforcement as discriminatory. Violators can be punished with exorbitant and punitive fines up to $250,000 per offense. In other words, the city will now censor and penalize anyone for using the correct legal term that has been used in both federal immigration law and numerous court decisions, including by the Supreme Court. Okay, so one of the things that I was, one of the things when this first came out that I thought was that they were applying this to everybody and everything. They have not gone that far yet. They have limited it to, hey, James, they have limited it to some specifics, right? So I guess apparently we're supposed to feel better at the fact that it's not just everyday citizens, it's, specifically housing providers, law enforcement, employers. Okay. But it still really made me question. And I'm trying to see. I don't really think I need to read the rest of this. I'm trying to stay away from the opinions of things here because we can create our own opinions. We can have our own opinions. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at why, how are we doing this? Why can we do this? Or, why can New York do this? Why isn't everyone up in arms about it? So is it a freedom of speech issue? So I started to do a little bit of research. Anything out of New York is leftist socialist opinion anyway. True. I mean, at least New York City, right? And I think that's really where I came to, right? Because I started looking at, in fact, I'm going to change what we're looking at really quickly. Hang on, let me find it because it's the list I'm pulling from is not in the same order. So what I will say first is I went to, of course, the U.S. Constitution to, hey, Tony, how are you? I wasn't sure if you would be working, so I wasn't sure if you'd be able to make it. But the so I started looking at it, and I've been studying the Constitution lately, so the U.S. Constitution. So yes, there's free speech addressed in the U.S. Constitution. But then I thought, well, okay, but each states and states' rights. So I thought, well, does New York State have a constitution, and what does New York State's constitution say about free speech? And so this is, let me back up here a second. So the New York State Constitution, yeah, I am showing this, in the Bill of Rights, if you look, number 8 is where this is at. So that's what we're going to be looking at. All right, freedom of speech and press, and then criminal prosecutions for libel. Every citizen may freely speak, write, and publish his or her sentiments on all subjects. And that's important because we're going to look at something a little bit later that kind of addresses that a little bit differently or words that a little bit differently. So I think it's important to pay attention to those words. So freely speak, write, and publish his or her sentiments on all subjects. being responsible for the abuse of that right, and no law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech, and then or of the press. So we're not talking about the press right now, but and then they switch gears a little bit and talk about criminal prosecutions. So I thought, okay, well, um, we've got the U.S. Um, Constitution, the Bill of Rights, really is where that's at. We've got the New York state itself, right? So we're looking at that, and I excuse me, and so then um, I as I was looking at this, I was realizing, okay, so this is New York City itself. Um, so you have a different jurisdiction, right, within the jurisdiction. And so let me change here again, because one of the questions that I had was, so who wins, right? So when you're talking about federal and state, states' laws, states' rights, for the most part, are supposed to, like, if they are stronger than federal rights, then you can go with the state's rights, right? Am I right on that? So it's whatever is stronger. Um, I know I'm not saying that well, but so I look at, okay, so city, does that mean that the city can be more restrictive? That the city can, um, what can the city do? So apparently that is a conversation as well. And let me show you what I'm talking about there. Sorry, I have several of these. Oh, there we go. So there is something called the preemption law, I believe, is how it's stated. Um, and this is, um, well, I'll show you in a minute. Okay. So this document is really addressing this exact thing, city rights in an era of preemption, is what they say. So preemption is the use of state law to nullify a municipal ordinance or authority. State preemption can span many policy areas, including environmental regulation, firearm use, and labor laws. States can preempt cities from legislating on particular issues either by statutory or constitutional law. In some cases, court rulings have forced cities to roll back ordinances already in place. So, so there is this kind of fight between whether smaller municipalities or smaller jurisdictions, like the city of New York, um, would be able to keep this law if the state pushed back on that. That's my understanding. I'm not, by no means am I, um, versed in legalese or anything like that. So, but that's kind of my understanding as I'm reading through this, that it is kind of a debate happening right now, and and the question of who wins. It is really interesting to me that the city of New York can look at what the U.S. The U.S. Bill of Rights, what the New York State Constitution has. Hey, Robert Wallace, and then be able to say, "Oh, as New York City, we're going to thumb our nose at something that really has been pretty foundational, right, for us. The freedom of speech is something that are we have traditionally held very dear." Okay, um, so then it also goes back to the fact that there's, they specify in certain circumstances, um, housing, Oh, what was that? I'm sorry. I completely forgot my wording. Where was that? Employers, housing providers, including hotels and law enforcement. Okay. Um, so the question becomes, is it a big deal? Um, have they, um, with those, is that a good thing? I mean, they're not really putting it on individual citizens, right? So is that a problem? Hey, Robert Nazawa. Um, sounds good. I don't mind your smacking. um, okay, so I'm going to. I'll invite you guys in a little bit if you guys want to jump in and talk about this once we get through some of the information. So, one thing I think that we have to be careful about is where this leads, right? And we hear a lot, um, oh, that's a slippery slope argument, and um, you don't have to, um, we don't have to worry about that, and you're overplaying it, or whatever, right? Um, Bill and both Roberts. So, so that's the question: is this a step too far, or when is it a step too far? And the problem is that um, it does spread, right? And once you have um, a city like New York or anything else, once you have something like this happen, the question is, and without being fought, the question is, does that open it up for everybody else? So, uh, okay, so let me switch gears to another one. And this we're going to go outside of New York. Um, because not only New York is crazy. All right, I'll start with this one. Okay, so this is proposed law would make the B word illegal in Massachusetts. Let's read about this. All right. A Boston Democrat has proposed a state law that would penalize the use of the B word when used to demean another person. The bill, filed by State Representative Dan Hunt in May, is slated to go before the Joint Committee on the Judiciary Tuesday afternoon. A measure proposes adding 2 sentences to the section of state law that assigns fines and other penalties for various offenses, such as crimes for common night walkers, indecent exposure, and disturbers of the peace. A person who uses the word be directed at another person to accost, annoy, degrade, or demean the other person shall be considered to be a disorderly person in violation of this section, the bill says. Okay, so now we've gone to Massachusetts, and we're no longer dealing with a city situation, we're dealing with a state situation. This is a state representative who has brought this bill forward. And this one. Okay, so this is the specific verbiage of the bill. A person who uses the word be directed at another person to accost, annoy, degrade, or demean the other person shall be considered to be a disorderly person in violation of this section and shall be subject to the penalties provided in subsections A and B. A violation of this subsection may be reported by the person to whom the offensive language was directed at, or by any witness to such incident. Um, okay. So, you know, years ago, I used to work in a situation, and I know that this still happens, where we had to have diversity training, I think annually, and sexual harassment training annually. And I remember in sexual harassment training, one of the things that they would talk about um, was the fact that even if you and someone else are kind of joking around about something or talking about something, it doesn't matter if the person with you is offended by it. Anyone within hearing um, could report that as sexual harassment. Okay. So this just reminds me of that, right? So it's not just the person to whom the offensive language is directed, but by any witness to such incident. Okay, so New York does something that, that it's New York City, right? So that's a different jurisdiction than the state and the US, the federal government. Um, New York's situation has some limitations on it as far as who specifically can't use the terminology illegal alien. Um, excuse me. And so, with that, um, I think maybe we tend to let some of that go a little bit. But then you turn around and now we're in Massachusetts. It's a state representative um, proposing a state law, and it's any person on the street. Now, am I a fan of, you know, people using language without, being cognizant of the people around them? Not necessarily, especially when there are kids around and things like that. But there's very much a difference. Um, James. There's very much a difference in me as a mom, kindly asking someone, "Hey, would you mind, um, curbing the language a little bit because of the kid," right? Um, and you know what? They have every right to say no. But what we're talking about here is the government creating a law to curb that. Those are two very different things. Same thing with a business. You can't go into a business, you can't go into Subway or whatever and say any darn thing that you want and say, well, it's free speech. Um, because again, we have to understand that free speech has to do with what the government can require or restrict, or what they can, or what the government can penalize, right? If you're in someone's business, it's their business. They have the right to ask you to leave at any time they want. Um, so we have to be careful that because I hear free speech, freedom of speech, thrown around a lot um, lately. Well, in the last few years or whatever, we just have to be really careful about what we're claiming is freedom of speech. Um, because it's important to remember that it's about the power that the government has in our lives. And that was the intention of it. It was about what the government could require of us. Oh, hey, Benny. Um, so, um, so I don't like to throw freedom of speech around too easily. I think we have to be, like I said, really careful that we're using it properly. Um, but this is exactly what um, this is exactly what our founders were talking about. And again, this is a state, so I had to do a little bit of research to say, well, does the state of Massachusetts have anything that would contradict a freedom of speech that the federal government has dictated? So give me just a second. I will switch again. I'll switch screens again. Don't want to leave studio. That would have been an accident. um, Okay, I'm actually, in case you guys are interested, I am going to actually, what I'll do is I'll just put the links to all of this in the description after I'm done. So if anybody's interested in flipping back to any of these, you are more than welcome. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry, I had to make sure that I have the right thing. Oh, hey James, hang on just a second. Let me pull up um, this screen here. Okay, I'm going to add you to the stream in just a second. I don't know if that'll mess up what I have on the stream right now. So hang on just a second. Actually, okay. But hang on just a second because I'm going to go through this other one real quick. Okay, so looking at the state of Massachusetts, right? So again, I had to question: does the state of Massachusetts have anything that would contradict?
I can't hear you. Hello. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm out fishing. That's well, on the other side of that marina is Kenmore Air Harbor. It's once the biggest air harbor in the world. But check out sunset. You guys hear me? Okay. No, I can't hear you, Bill. Sorry. Funny. Now this is probably going to make me leave the chat. Back out of here. Okay. No fish either. Actually, took a stick and I had notches cut in it. And you take another stick after you stab that one in the ground and you rub it on the notches and you get worms to come out of the ground. I got one worm instead of stopping and spending $4 on worms when I have some at home. But like I figured nothing's biting anyway, so better I didn't buy worms. And I'm not sure where Mel is. Awkward. And no, I'm not going to go swimming in this cold water like Robert Wallace might. Hey, Amy. Long time no see. Hope everybody's subscribed to everybody else's channels, including mine, in case I make some content. I might start putting some videos on of tree work, tree felling. There's Mel. Figured it out, I guess.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if they
hear
can.
James.
They said they could hear me. I can hear you.
I do not know what is gone. Hello, Amy. If you can hear me. I have no idea why I can't hear James.
Can you guys hear Mel? Amy's saying hi, so. Hold on, I'm gonna put you in my pocket and cast.
You can. Why can't I hear James?
I can hear you.
Speak up, James. I can't hear you.
Hello. Wow.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me try one more thing because I want to be able to hear you.
Yeah, Amy says she can hear both of us.
Nothing.
What are you eating, Robert?
Oh, okay.
Zawa?
Okay. James, I'm going to try to take you out and bring you back in, okay?
Taking me out.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. James?
How about now?
I can hear you now. Oh, heaven.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, I'm not in your backyard. Buried.
No, not yet.
Didn't take me out yet. Okay, cool.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So sorry about all that.
Should be.
I know, right? I have no idea. It was just telling me my camera and my audio were being used elsewhere. Like, I don't know where. So anyway, I okay.
What?
All right. So I'm gonna get back to free speech because
Funny, Bill.
all right. So I'm sorry. That just totally distracted me. Okay, so Massachusetts. Thank you, Amy. I'm not the only one. It's like, really?
Oh, sorry. I just put my phone down. Dang.
Yeah, I know. It's our fault.
Yeah,
Totally my fault. I'm sorry.
it's cool.
Okay. All right. So, and making me cry. Okay, so free speech. Anyway, with Massachusetts, so New York, even if you can excuse some of what New York was doing because of the specifics that they put in their law. Oh, that's beautiful, James.
Right.
Now you're looking at Massachusetts, where it's anybody on the street. Even if you hear something on the street, and it's state law, or it's at least proposed.
Sorry.
So it's quite all right, James. Okay, Phil. Anyway, okay, I'm going to put something very, very different up here. Robert Nozawa is having teriyaki chicken, 2 scoops of rice, and mac salad. That's
There you
really awesome. Oh, Robert, yeah, let's not go down that road. Okay, so see, here I am. I was just talking to someone about how
Sorry.
so much of what I address is this heavy stuff on my channel, and that we needed some light stuff as well. So James is bringing in, Robert Nozawa is helping to bring in the humor. So thank you guys for helping me lighten up the subject. So anyway, free speech, yeah. It's important stuff. That's all I got now.
Jeez.
Okay.
Well,
No, I'm just totally messed. Yes, James. Go ahead.
Oh no, I climbed a tree the other day, and it's a really nice brand new home, spared no expense, and they had construction workers everywhere. So I go back to get in my car, and the guy's like, "Were you up in that tree?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was in that one." And he's like, "Dude, you must need like a wheelbarrow for your nuts or something."
James, I thought you were going to take us somewhere free speech wise and get us off of that
free
topic.
speech.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh heavens.
What?
All right. Oh, nothing. Nothing at all, James. Nothing at all.
Never mind. Back to milk.
Well, I will say I've never climbed the trees that you climb. So Bill, I just put some blush on. A little heavy today. That's what that is. I'm not actually blushing. Oh yes,
Fire.
yes. It's no. James, you're right, Robert, and Robert, the Roberts. You're right, because James was just really helping to demonstrate the idea of free speech, and I appreciate that. So yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Okay, right, exactly. Okay, so the other aspect of this that has happened recently has been kind of what places like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all that, have the impact that they have had on free speech, and is that a question of free speech and whatever else, right? So, so the piece that comes in on that is, I don't know if you guys, a lot of discussion was had about US Code 230, and the idea that if these platforms are a place, a public forum, right? The idea is that these companies, Google, but YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, these platforms would not be able to be sued for what someone else is saying while using their platform. So then the question comes in whether or not, here, I'll change it out for a second. The question comes in of whether or not, oh my gosh, Bill!
Where's it?
Oh, that is so pretty,
Oh,
James.
there's a seaplane coming in behind me.
Oh yeah. So very cool. That's awesome. Okay, he's out. So anyway, the question is, can they have it both ways, right? You cannot hold me accountable. You cannot hold us accountable. You can't sue us for something that someone says on our platform, yet we can turn around and we can't, I'm sorry. No. He took his own video off. Tony Patriot, heavens, bring in some maturity to this stream, because I've obviously completely lost it. Okay, so anyway, if they're going to claim that they can't be sued for things that people say on their platforms, then on the other hand, can they then claim that they can modify people's speech or suppress people's speech or things like that? All right. Does anyone have anything to say on free speech? Because this started out good. Or at least informative. I don't know if it was good, but it started out informative.
I ruined it.
No, you didn't ruin it. It was our
My
immaturity.
bad.
It was our immaturity. It's all good. Okay. Yeah, free speech. I'm going to put in the link again in case anybody wants to join us and talk about free speech.
Yeah, somebody please come and rescue this train wreck.
Right? Right? I had somewhere else I was going to go with this, and I've completely lost it.
Free speech. Free speech.
Yeah, free speech. So, yeah, let's talk about free speech. But ultimately, this all comes down to, in all the research that I was doing, that I still don't think. I mean, I think New York has, as wrong as I think it is what they're doing. I think because it's the city of New York, versus the state, that maybe they have some sort of legal standing to do that. But I also think that the state could come back and say, no, we're covering this with free speech. I'm sure you are, Bill. Okay, I just had the other thought of what I was going to say. All right. Who else wants to jump on here? Seriously. You guys have caused problems here. Oh, one of the things that when I was on Bill's show, and you guys actually, everybody in this chat, you should be looking at the channels for everyone else, because there are a lot of great shows on here. The Bill show, he does a show a lot of times later in the evening or night, depending on where you are. Robert Nizawa is coming on board with, he's got some just videos that he has kind of saved for topics. Anyway, Tony the Patriot, always Amy, aka Amy DeMod, right? Robert Wallace, Front Yard Gardening with Robert Wallace. He does some cool stuff, plays a shovel. He does some gold mining, gardening. He talks politics and stuff happening in California. So all sorts of good stuff, not just California, but that's been recent. So anyway, check everybody out because we've got some cool people on here. So anyway, I was on the Bill show. Bill was interviewing me a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, and he asked me a question about who I watch or who I listen to, how I decide who I watch or listen to. And that's, I guess, kind of why I've done my channel the way I've done it, is because I really appreciate if you are, if you're trying to state fact, I really want to see the backup to that, right? If you've got an argument and you're building an argument off of something, I want the foundation for that, right? I want to see where you get that and why you're saying that, and I want to understand. That's why when I'm digging into the stuff about free speech, well, I want to truly understand the purpose of it, and what ranks. Is it federal? Is it state? Is it the city or the municipalities? Who wins, and what can they do? So now I love shows too that are also just kind of chatting and talking about their opinions as well. But something like this, where I'm kind of laying out why I think that what really New York, I still think it's wrong, but what New York and Massachusetts in this case are doing, if I'm laying out that I think it's wrong, I really want to show why I believe that. And then, again, you guys get to make your own, have your own thoughts and stuff, but I just feel like I need to back up what I'm saying. Okay, so free speech was really all I had today. If there's anything you guys want to add or talk about, we can do that. James, you should show us some more of
you.
Well, I was going to say that, and I was trying to
Which view?
The water and the pretty sky, and
It's beautiful.
yeah, it really. I mean, the weather is
Oh, the camera's all weird. And yes, there's some people out here with me.
Yes.
I don't know them.
So for us, in Washington, in Western Washington, at this time of year, that kind of weather, it's just amazing
Let's
and
see if we
fairly
can,
rare.
if it'll do
So-
the sunset any justice.
Oh, is that the
There
moon?
you go.
Is the moon in there as well?
Uh,
Is that, or is that a
Is it?
plane? I can't tell.
yeah, actually, that is it.
Very cool. Very cool. I've last couple of nights we've had some pretty good pictures with the moon and the setting sun. So I wondered. Very, very cool. Yes, it is gorgeous. Robert Nozawa. It's just beautiful. So
I'll send these to the group text feed in a little bit
okay, sounds good.
so you guys can see them because the actual video on this isn't as good as my camera. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I always, I'm always so disappointed when I go to take pictures. Because like the pictures, Phil. Yeah. See this?
uh-oh.
See right here. I'm so like the pictures that I've been using for my thumbnails on these videos are all the ones that are pictures that I have taken. So I have a ridiculous amount of landscape and sunset pictures, sky pictures. But I got tired of YouTube just picking, some random image from the stream with my eyes half closed or drooling out the side of my mouth or something as the thumbnail for it. So anyway,
They do
but
that?
I always what?
They do that?
Well, I mean, for the thumbnail at least, it's just kind of
They just
as
pull
far
from
as I
your
know, just pull from the
gallery?
stream. Yeah,
What?
not from the gallery, but from the stream. So they'll take a shot from it. Maybe there's something more specific
I
to
see
it
what
that
you're
somebody
saying.
else. Yeah. So it could be me mid speech or whatever, and just a goofy look. So I just decided I was going to start using those. So anyway. All right. Well, it's been an hour. Started out somewhat respectfully. We hit a little rough patch there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Man. Or my ladies who keep me straight here. On track. All right. Amy, it's very good to see you here. I don't know if Tony is still here. I don't know if Benny's still here. If you guys are, you are more than welcome to either join the stream or chat. But again, if it's been an hour, so we don't have to keep going. I was really just trying to recover this somehow. So anyway, hey, did you catch anything, James?
No, I had one bite and I didn't set the hook in time. But
yeah, I'm the
I don't
worst.
know if you
at
heard.
fishing.
I was telling them I took a stick that I put notches in and you stick that in the ground and then you take another stick and you rub it on those notches and it makes a vibration in the soil that causes the worms to come up.
Oh, no, I did not hear that.
So that's how I got my one worm.
Very cool. It's being resourceful.
I try. But I was about to head home. I mean, I'll be game to join anybody's videos.
If anyone else is going on, yeah. Let us
Rather
know if
than
anyone else is
later.
going on.
Because I've been working all week and then trying to keep the same schedule over the weekend. So I
Sounds
was
good.
up early.
Wow, nice. I was up extremely late. Well, actually, I was up really early to take my daughter to work. I had to be there by 6:45, and then I went back to bed, and I got up about 11:30. So, because I had to pick her up at 1, so I had to get up.
So, actually, something I did want to talk about.
Okay.
'Cause, I've been seeing all these videos about a supposed false flag in Seattle on November 3rd, tomorrow.
Oh, I saw you make a comment about that in another chat. I was gonna ask you about that.
Mhm. So I am going to get away from Seattle tomorrow. Probably just going to skip church and leave in the morning and head out towards the hills
Yeah,
with, everything I need.
it's not a bad
Prep.
idea.
Prep tonight, the car ready.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Because worst comes to worst, you just get to go spend some time in nature.
Yep. I'm gonna take
Nothing
my
happens, and
panning stuff.
ooh,
out of it.
nice.
Too bad I can't do videos.
Yeah, that's cool though. Well, but you can upload a video that you've taken, right?
I mean, you tell me. I've got a lot of videos I could upload, which would be cool.
I
So,
think it's just
I
about
should-
going live.
Okay. Does anybody else know? Anybody
He
commenting?
doesn't trust me. You hear that? He doesn't trust me.
Right?
I'm watching.
Learn not to.
No, heavens.
Kidding.
Heavens.
Kidding. But I went into downtown
one else
Seattle
is-
today, and I got
Yeah.
me a bunch of silver. And wore my Trump hat around downtown Seattle
Oh, yeah? Did you get
Yep.
any comments?
with my Trump shirt. No, nobody said anything. I think Brendan Dilley was right. Just get out
About
there
what?
and wear your gear. He wears it around confidently, and nobody says anything to him. So
Yeah. Well, and really, that's the way it should be. Bill is saying that that's how he ended. Actually, Bill is saying that Mel is completely right, and that you should always trust what Mel says.
of course, Bill.
I'm just reading the chat, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the way it should be, right? You should be able to walk around in your Trump gear. You should be able to, someone should be able to walk around in their Bernie gear or whatever.
Just no Hillary gear.
Or Hillary. But I mean, have a conversation. Fine, great. Amy. Have a
missing everything,
conversation.
aren't I?
But Bill is just misbehaving. He's
Like normal.
practicing his free speech.
Yeah.
He's just saying that people were probably quite impressed with you when you were walking around in your MAGA stuff.
Nice, thanks. Robert, I got 17 25 or 17 pre-1964 quarters, and then I got 20 pre-1964 dimes, and then I got a 1999 Silver Eagle that has Walking Liberty lady painted on it. But I was told that 1999 was like the lowest, or like the year they produced the least of those, period, and that they can be really valuable. And this was only $3 over spot. It was $21.13. And then I got a Seattle round. So like all that and a bunch of airtight cases for the rounds. and sleeves and everything for about $150. So it really wasn't bad. And yeah, those dimes and quarters those would be what I'd most likely trade in an SHTS situation.
Okay. Are you the one that explained that to me the other day? Someone explained that to me the other day, but I don't remember what it is now. And it's okay. We can.
SHTF, if you guys do not know, it's an acronym for preppers. Basically, shit hits the fan.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So that's when you'd have your bug out bag and all your prepared, super long shelf life foods and weapons, ammo. Ammo can actually probably be worth more than gold when that time comes, depending on how bad it gets. Also, toilet paper could be worth more than gold. I mean,
Okay, yeah, I'll go there. I hold toilet paper as pretty important in my life, so.
Yeah. So I mean that and water. So stuff to think about. I know we've got Pennsylvania Prepper sometimes in the chat.
Yeah,
right?
Pennsylvania Prepper. Yeah, she's here sometimes.
There's the Redneck Prepper. There's also Watchful Warrior actually does some pretty good stuff on guns and prepping in that sort of situation, that sort of style of prepping. So not sure how many of you guys are like-minded like that. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to, someone new is in the chat. I was just going to welcome Dennis to the chat, saying precious metals, copper, lead, and brass. Okay, I got that. Very true. Very true. Okay. What was that, James? What were you going to say?
I'm starting to get into smelting and getting equipment together, and I've got stuff to melt down copper and a bunch of copper I've saved up. So he's right.
Well, so copper, lead, and brass, isn't that referencing like ammo?
Is it copper in ammo? I don't know.
Okay, I thought that's what he was referencing.
Well, definitely brass and lead. I mean, I'm just not sure about copper, I suppose.
Okay, so I'm going to catch up on chat here for a second. Robert Nazawa says TP tabs by the buckets. Front yard gardening, Robert Wallace. It may be depending on your situation. Bill is saying not to those in India. They mostly wipe their butts with their hands. Just saying.
Yeah, their left hand. That's a thing a lot of people don't know. In other foreign countries, that's why we shake with our right hands. It's because they use their left hand for other reasons.
Okay, I thought that it was a thing like when we were dealing with Iraq war stuff. I thought it was a thing where they wiped with their right hand, and so we wanted to be shaking with our left. But I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, it's not how I was taught. My parents are missionaries. I don't know.
Okay, so yeah. Well, no, I mean, but maybe we should just, go with the whole, elbow bump thing and be safe.
Fist bump. Oh wait.
Yeah, no. Robert Wallace is saying toilet paper is in surplus here. Well, you know what? I don't know. Can you have a surplus of toilet paper? Always Amy is saying dry beans, rice, lard, salt, water, and toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, I've got plenty of
So
dried beans and rice. Got like a 10-pound thing of rice and sugar as well. Flour.
yes, very cool. Very cool. If nothing else, you can just take the sugar straight, just like.
Right.
Dennis is saying yes, copper bullet jackets.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I am actually not sure what Bill is referencing, but by the responses, I think I'll just let that one go. Robert Nozawa said, if you commit a crime, they cut off the hand you eat with, so you end up eating and wiping with the same hand. Oh, see, now that's motivation to walk the straight line, people. You got me. I'm going to turn from my life of crime. There's a big accident.
Oh yeah, one car is like half. Well, it's definitely into the car in front of it. They're blocking off a whole lane.
Oh goodness!
Sorry.
Well, drive careful. No, that's okay. Drive careful.
I'm fine. I just had to cut off a guy to get over.
That's not driving carefully.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's just aggressive driving.
Oh, okay. Aggressive, careful. All right. So yeah, Robert, absolutely. I mean, that's what they say with parenting, right? You have to find that thing. You have to find the currency, right? So you can't use the same kind of motivation or punishment or discipline or whatever with every kid, because like some kids may be motivated by earning money or whatever, and some kids may not care at all, right? So but for this, I don't know, that seems to me like that would be kind of across the board motivation for most people. So holy cow, James, you got a full on Cops
They're going
and
to the
Robbers show
accident.
going there. Yeah.
Hey, I want to keep it exciting,
There you go. Bring in the excitement.
The drama.
Wipe with your. So Bill is saying, what's the alternative, right? Wipe with your new stump, or I mean,
Sorry.
James is smiling because there's a body in his trunk. Oh my gosh. Heavens. Well, they have people who learn to eat with their feet when, use their feet when they don't have their arms or their hands. So I mean, there's some motivation there. I'm just saying.
Necessity is the mother of all inventions, right?
Exactly. Oh, Robert Wallace.
Oh no, what?
I don't have to repeat all of the chat. This banner, Robert Wallace's banner of "I love free speech." That's just perfect. We'll just go with that.
I see it now.
Yeah, that's true. He got rid of the body at the dock, so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. That's why he's all smiling and carefree now.
Well, there were people magnet fishing, so.
Magnet fishing?
Yeah.
Fishing for magnets?
Oh, no. Really?
Like using a magnet to find metal stuff in the lake?
Yep.
Huh.
along the edge of the
Okay.
dock.
They find anything good?
I didn't ask them. One time, some kids found a fishing net, and they gave it to me. And then I went
Oh.
out on my boat and ended up slipping off the edge of the boat into the water, and bye bye.
Oh
So
no.
I'd have to go magnet fishing for it
I
now.
was just gonna say you'd need to go magnet fishing for it.
Oh, here we
Man.
go. Wah, 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 wah. Guess somebody might have been hurt.
That's not good.
Pray for them.
Okay. Absolutely. We've had enough issues with
Another
holy cow.
fire truck. I can mute the mic, honestly.
So we've had some visits here by emergency vehicles, by EMTs and stuff for various things that have happened in our home. And there was this one time where one of the kids and I don't remember, we were driving home and we ended up kind of meeting up behind this emergency vehicle, this aid vehicle that was going in our same direction. And then they turned to the street before our street. And I'm like, huh, okay. And then they turned onto our street and I'm like, okay. And as we kept going, they just kept getting closer and closer to my house. And I started like, my heart rate was going and I was starting to
Panicking.
sweat. And I'm like, oh yeah, I started panicking. And so they ended up stopping. Well, what happened was the situation was across the street and I think a house down. But of course, when they slowed and they backed up and all that, I was like, oh my gosh, it's at my house. What happened now? Right. But it wasn't.
I'm here. I'll be right back, though.
Okay. It wasn't at my house, but it was enough that had me sweating. So I had thought about taking you guys out to show you the sunset here because it's kind of cool. I won't stop the stream while he's out because that would be kind of rude. He shows back up and we're all gone. So let me see. Pardon the camera movement here for a second. All right, let's see. Can you actually see that? Can you see the details of that? I don't know if you can or not. Oops. Hello, Alexandra. We kind of talked about all of our fun, serious. We talked about all of our serious stuff, and now we're just kind of hanging out for a few.
All right. I'm back.
Oops. All right. So James, can you see that? Can you see the sunset?
Yeah, I'm just sure that that's not doing it justice. You know what I mean?
It's really not. I'm sure too. All right. No, because it looks like
Because
just
I know what I saw on the lake. So
Well, fine. Anyway, oh yeah, we've had a lot of situations around here that have made us inventory life, as you say. But yeah, so it was just one of those like, and my kids know how to pack a hospital bag. I'll say that.
Oh man.
It's a skill that they have. So, but they rock. They're awesome. They step up when needed. So that's awesome. So anyway, all right. Well, I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of chatting. If anybody has anything they want to say, that's great. Otherwise, we can just end the stream.
Bill, jump on.
Okay. Well, I'll put the invite out one more time. That way, if anybody does want to jump in, they can. But if not, then we'll end the stream.
No.
Oh yeah, don't do it. Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna leave you here for just a second.
To entertain.
What giveaway?
Who said giveaway?
Yeah, I'll leave you here for just a second. Well, Alexandra did.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Well, how's it going? Hey Wallace, you still in the chat? I just bought a classifier today. It goes on a 5-gallon bucket or over your pan. Kind of excited. Hey Alexandra. Sorry guys, I'm going into my place and then I will talk. Yeah, Amy, when you're going live.
Okay. Oh, hey, God bless America.
Oh, I didn't even see you. What's up, GBA?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you GBA? Is that the...
I don't know. Anybody with longer than 1 or 2 names, it's like, it's like, I want to type that out. Like Robert.
No, right.
I'm never ever like tagging him because his name's too long. I'm just like, I'll never. The comment will be like irrelevant by the time I'm done.
Typing in the full name.
Yeah.
Too funny. Well, cool. Anything exciting happened while I was gone? I had to get my camera so that I could take
Nothing
a picture
at
of
all.
the sunset.
It was very boring. In fact, I was actually transferring from my car to my house, so like.
Did you not keep everyone entertained?
No, not this time.
Seriously, James. I mean, come on.
It's your channel.
Yes, but I left you in charge.
Oh,
I
jeez. I
expect
didn't
all sorts
realize.
Amazing things.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Well,
That was earlier.
GBA, we were, oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you for your additions to our free speech discussion. I usually catch. Oh, okay. Oh, let's see. Let's see if Robert has sound. Hey, Robert, do you have sound?
Oh, no.
Can't hear you.
Dude, did you get some headphones yet?
Where's the earbuds? We've got to try that. So if anybody in chat knows, we've been having this issue where Robert Nozawa cannot, we can't hear him, and we're not sure why. He's checked it's using the internal microphone and all that, and we don't know why we can't hear him. So nice flag though, Robert. That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty sweet.
Man.
I had to get an extra one for a wall poster, basically. I've got one outside, though. A flag?
Yeah, what did you say?
I said I should get one for like a backdrop or like a wall poster kind of thing. Because I've got one outside, but that's for everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I know y'all cannot. Well, okay, so let's see if y'all can see. Bill was able to do this really well the other night, and I'm just sucking it up here. Yeah. Oh, crud.
Bill wants to know if you're naked, Robert.
Okay, yeah, that's not working. Anyway, yes. Robert Wallace says yes.
He's very curious. Time to make Bill blush.
Yes.
Hey, I'm an equal
Robert,
opportunity. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Robert, we're not all in Hawaii. Those that are in Michigan cannot imagine sitting there without their shirts on right now. So you gotta work with them. Oh no, I didn't mean to scare you away.
And this was my shirt from Seattle today. Yeah.
So you had your Trump hat, you had your Trump shirt,
rocking it,
you were
and my
rocking it,
sidearm. But maybe I can show you guys.
Oh my goodness! I wish that you guys could see this sky. Oh, that's very pretty, James. Robert, now you're making Bill uncomfortable with your overdressed attire. Overdressed self.
Oh, no.
GJ, who is Front Yard Gardening? Front Yard Gardening with Robert Wallace. He is
awesome.
this cool guy that he plays the shovel. I always start with that, and I know that that's not your main thing, Robert Wallace, but still, he plays the shovel, and he gold mines. He has a gold claim that he takes us to every once in a while, or shows us how to process the pay dirt. Is that what you call it?
Wallace.
And he also talks politics and current events and that kind of stuff too. Did I do you justice, Robert Wallace? But he's pretty cool. You should check him out. Fun stuff. Yes, and James is getting into or has been into, I guess, the panning stuff. Yes, shovel guitar, GBA. It's pretty cool. I always talk about the fact that I have no musical talent at all, and yet all these guys that I hang out with seem to have it in spades. So it's awesome. You thought you were, that's true. Front yard gardening with Robert Wallace. I think he does take the cake with his the length of his name, with his screen name. So
Right?
that's
CBA.
funny. Yeah, yeah. God bless America is not bad after that, right? As far as length, I'm not calling your name bad. Okay, so Robert Wallace is saying he likes the deeper classifiers best, which, you know, I know nothing about. So I'm going to go, yeah. Oh, and James just popped out. All right, cool. No, but he's got a great channel. So you should check him out. Oh, hold on. I didn't know we had private chat on here. Oh, okay. I just caught those. Thank you. All right. Even FYGWRW is difficult. Yeah. That's true. We just usually call him either Robert Wallace, or some call him Wallace, or I'll do just RW because that seems to. Oh, I gotta let James back in. That seems to do it. Oh man, this sky. I know that y'all cannot see it that well, but heavens. I'm gonna have to take another picture. Sorry, guys. I am ridiculous with the sky pictures. Oh, it's just beautifully layered. All sorts of colors and tones, and just good stuff there. I have been known to chase the sky. So, like, if I'm waiting for my daughter to come out of work, because as some of you know, I do a lot of waiting on my daughter to come out of her workplace, which is also where she does her sports. And there's, if I have a little bit and there's a good sunset, I will chase the sky. Oh, Robert Nozawa. Oh, look at that. That's so beautiful. I want to be there. I will work the farm, Robert Nozawa. I'll work the farm. If I could have a patch, I'll just sit right there. Cold, clear nights are better to see satellites. Yeah, they are. It has been very chilly, and for here, this is clear. So, what is that? Does it look like fire, Bill? Is that what you're saying? I'll have to use one of these pictures for one of my thumbnails for next time. Because it's just good stuff. See, I can smell it there. Just looking at it, I know, right, Bill? He has an amazing piece of property there. Just look at that. Just sitting out his front door. Well, his door. I don't know if it's front technically, but whatever. Oh, what a beautiful view. And the smells and the sounds and Well, now you're just showing off with those non-chem filled clouds. Need to get my daughter out here with her better camera. Take some pictures of this. So anyway, oh, James disappeared again. That is beautiful, and it's about 3:30 in the afternoon there, right, Robert? I believe I got that correct. I know we should all just descend on Robert Nozawa. Peek in his windows. Yeah, you keep disappearing.
Well, okay, so there's like two football games at the stadium right near me, and I got home in between the two games. So there's all these people down near the tower maxing out that tower, and so I actually restarted my phone to. I heard that bumps you up on the list, so.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Yes, Robert has been blessing us with his views out from his property of the beautiful ocean and sky, and yeah.
His camera's way better than yours.
Jeff! Okay, so GBA is saying he has sunrise pics overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, and it looks like a huge cross. That'd be so cool to see. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm a sucker for sunrise, sunset pictures. I don't get a whole lot of sunrise pictures just because of who I am, but I have a whole lot of sunset pictures. I see a lot of sunsets in my time, not a whole lot of sunrises. Yeah. Oh, Dennis is saying that they don't set theirs. I look like Max Headroom. How come? Where's the light? Anyway, but yeah. So Dennis is saying that they don't set their clocks back. I think we do. Do we still set ours back, James? We do, right? No, I'm asking because there was something that went like a bill or something that was proposed in the spring that we would stop.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that, but I don't know if anything like that actually went into effect.
I don't think it did. I was kind of hoping it would.
I don't think it did either.
Oh, very cool. Oh man, GBA, I would love to see some of your pictures sometime. Because that's cool. He said he has several pictures of the sky, and it looks like the stripes in our flag. Yeah, Bill, I guess our cell phones will know. That's right. Oh, heavens, it's so pretty. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to invade. Wow, I was gonna say, invade Hawaii, invade Oahu. Pearl Harbor comes to mind, and maybe that's not a good reference. We're gonna have to invade Nozawa's house. Okay, GBA, you sound a lot like me because I have way too many pictures as well.
Well, is Nozawa packing? Can we just creep up on him like that?
Packing. I thought you meant the other kind of packing. Robert Nozawa, you might
like
want
guns?
to start packing. Just saying, because apparently we are truly invading. I don't know. I have a daughter who's been trying to. I used to do some meetings that I would travel around for. I did a lot of kind of traveling, and so my daughter, when she was 4, said something like, "Mom, do you have to take a plane to get to Hawaii?" I'm like,
Well, not
Yeah.
according to AOC.
Well, that's true. This was a few years ago. This was pre AOC time. And I said, well, yeah. And she said, okay, well, when, she waited like a beat. And then she said, when you go or when you do one of your meetings in Hawaii, will you take me with you? Okay. Really? You just want to get to Hawaii. That's what this is all about. Very cool. That's
Sounds
right
like a
behind your house,
smart
right?
gal.
I know.
Excuse me.
Works it. Oh yeah, I could handle that, Robert.
Mel, do you have birds, or is that coming from Robert?
No, that's here. And I'm not, yeah, that's here.
It's like that sounds kind of like a exotic bird.
Well, I think that's here. I think I'm hearing it here. Is it a bird or is it a bat? That's a possibility too.
Bats are more like. That's the noise they make.
That was actually really good. I'm impressed.
Well, yeah, okay, so they come out of a chimney right near me, and I actually have a video of that too, of them just coming out, and I'm like, and they will swoop down within like a foot of my face.
Oh wow! And
'cause
you
they'll-
encourage this behavior?
Yeah. Makes you feel like Batman.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
It's like, I'm Batman. No, you're not.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm just.
But no, bats are really cool. They totally reduce mosquitoes and bugs.
I had a close encounter situation with a bat that lasted for a few hours. That has made me not so fond of bats.
Reminds me of that scene in Black
Oh, that's
Sheep
right.
when they're out in the cabin and the
It's
bats are running around. David Spade and Chris Farley are trying to catch it.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but
Oh, that's a great one.
a friend of mine and I, when one of my daughters was 10 weeks old, we went to Indiana, and we were in her. We were staying at her dad's house, and the room that we were in. Hang on, just a second. I gotta get myself settled. The room that we were in was kind of this mother-in-law unit where you walk in the door, and if you go to one side, it's kind of the bedroom area. If you go to the other side, it's the it was the kind of sitting area or living room area for it, and so when we were sitting up talking really late at night, we were exhausted because we'd just flown in. We saw a shadow on the wall, and we thought, oh, that's a really big moth. Turns out it wasn't a really big moth. It was a bat.
And then nobody could sleep.
And oh no, it was no. I mean, there was. I won't even go into it all, but there were hijinks that night, and we finally got it to where it was out of the room, and so we shut the door. But that was prior to me knowing that bats will actually crawl and scurry like little mice underneath doors. And so I was laying there feeding my daughter really early the next morning, and barely awake, because who's awake when that's happening anyway? And I was just kind of hearing this noise. I thought, boy, those, there must be birds like on the water spout or whatever, and then ends up, I was on a mattress that was it was a mattress on the floor. So I was only about 10 inches off of the floor. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw something kind of go past my head because there was about a foot between the mattress and the wall. And immediately I was like, oh, and all of a sudden I saw the bat fly into the closet and I was like, woo, and I just like, flung the covers over the baby and myself and let my friend deal with it actually. So it was it was a whole lot that happened the night and then the next morning with that. So from that point on, we called her dad Batman because we joked with him about the fact that he wouldn't take care of the bat. We took care of the bat. So well, I should say my friend took care of the bat. I was under the covers. Oh, Robert Nozawa, GBA was asking what kind of plant was behind you. It looked interesting. So I'm not sure how.
I got a lot of plants.
No, he was asking Robert Nozawa.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure, but I don't know how long ago that was, but.
Right. I got a lemon tree, but nowhere near as ripe as Wallace's lemons.
Well, I was going to say, GBA, that would be so awesome if you put that slideshow together. I mean, I know it's a lot of work, but when you do one day, that would be cool to see. So, was its name Dracula? I'm pretty sure it was, Bill, actually. Count Dracula. Did Robert actually go down to the water? Uh-oh.
Yeah, he left his house and walked down to the water.
Oh, wow. We lost him.
And now he left us.
He was like, that's it. I'm going swimming.
Screw you guys. I'm going here.
Okay, well, I'll see if he comes back on. I don't want to. Okay.
Back at you, Bill. Cheers.
Wade Decoro is my neighbor who shapes surfboards. Very cool. Right? Yeah, my problem is just because I take so many shots of the same, the same scene, and then I can't decide what I like best, and so I have just way too many pictures of, and so many of them look very much alike. So, Lopaka, if I'm saying that correctly. James just did Cartman. I don't know who Cartman is, Bill. So,
South Park.
Is that okay? Is that Lopaka or Iopaka? I don't know if that's an I or an L.
There's totally different trees in Hawaii than we have here. So I actually have a book of just Hawaiian trees.
GBA said it looks like it's something illegal in Georgia.
Could be. It is a weed.
Pakalolo. Am I saying? I should not be reading these things because Bill will send me down the bad path. Have me saying something, I'll be like, oh, let me repeat that.
It's all Bill's
not even
fault.
knowing what it is, right? Oh, is that what?
So there was this one time in the summer, I left my sliding door open, and I woke up with a bat on my ceiling.
Mm,
I had to grab a bucket and then take a piece of cardboard and slide it over in between the ceiling and the bucket.
yeah, that's good times.
Yeah, there's
I
a
guess we
similar
should
kind of
go ahead.
there's a similar style of a spider catching thing, and it's just a little clear box on a stick with a little door, and of course you turn it one way, the door falls open. You put it over the spider and you just rotate it till the door closes on itself and take it outside. You don't even need to get near it.
Nice. I like that option. When I kill spiders, I do it in a very, very violent way.
Yeah, I know, I've heard that.
Not everybody has, but yes,
And then you
I
clean it up?
I think so most of the time, unless I can't
think
reach
so.
it. Most of the time, I do, yes, because yeah, I'll take it and I'll just like and I'll punch it and I'll squish it and I'll like make sure it's nice and flattened and I know it's dead.
Huh.
So I know it's like me against the spider.
It's a beautiful place, Nozawa.
Oh,
That's
I didn't know
cool.
you had a dog.
Is that a... What is that? Those are just big, broad leaves, right? Is that agave? Looks like his hand's over the mic or the camera now. It's like, don't look at this part.
Right. Bill says spiders get no quarter in my home either. So I have one of my daughters used to love to just used to love insects and little critters and stuff like that. We'd call her like the grasshopper whisperer, the insect whisperer, or whatever. And so I don't know, she was maybe 7 or 8. I don't remember how old she was,
Is
but
there a saint for that?
a saint.
Yeah, a saint.
Oh,
Like,
for
for insects. I'm just joking.
insects.
It's a bad joke. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, but not in my home because so she was watching this little insect crawl across the floor in my house, and I was like, I was gonna step on it or whatever, and she goes, no, let me take care of it. I'll get it out. I'm like, okay. And so I sat there
Crunch.
and I waited. No, James, I'm not so clueless. Okay. I sat there and I waited and I waited and I watched her continue to watch this insect crawl across my floor. And then I crunched it. And she was like, oh, Mom. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. I gave you the chance. Okay. But you got to understand that where, the insects are fine as long as they stay where they belong. When they are in my space, it's a no-go. And so,
I see. It's your safe space, huh?
when it comes to that, yes. It is my
Hypocrite.
kingdom. It is my kingdom, and I will defend it from all invaders. So too funny. Well, very cool, Robert. We all loved the tour that you gave us. We're all now jealous and want to be there. So
Yeah, it's
prepare
beautiful.
for like 20 guests because we'll bring people with us, of course.
We're gonna sneak up with fatigues and
Be prepared is what he's saying. Be
I
prepared.
assume he can hear us.
Robert, you can hear us, right?
Delay?
Can you hear us, Robert?
Give us a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. You gotta do all sorts of stuff over there. Dance on one leg if you can hear us.
Now, while you're doing that, touch your toes and.
Oh, there's a lot of echoing for you, Robert. Is anyone else hearing echoing? Because I'm not hearing echoing. So I'm not sure. Come on, Bill. Just nod. Of all the things, I mean, Bill, you got some moves, so we could see some of Robert's moves.
Or you could join the show, Bill.
Or you could join the show, Bill. Robert
Is this the repeating game?
It's like, no, I'm not dancing on screen. No, I'm not going to dance on one leg. No, I'm not going to whatever other things that you guys can come up with. I'm not doing it. Oh my gosh, too funny. Too funny.
Yeah, that's a nice smile right there. Yeah,
I know. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he had a good little laugh at that one. Oh, I have too. My cheeks are hurting.
We run everybody off yet?
Not yet, but almost. What are we looking at? What is that? What is that? Oh, is that a gecko? That's a gecko.
Yeah. See, can't go smashing those, Mel.
No, but no, their tails come off when you try to get them. Their tails come off. So
if you grab them by the tail, yeah.
That's awesome, Robert.
Yeah, that is cool. But he doesn't mind them like you might.
Yeah, I don't know how I would feel about them now. As a kid, I didn't mind them. I don't think I really minded them when they showed up. But except for the fact those suckers move fast. We had one actually. We got into our car one night at the mall, and my dad, it's all dark and stuff like that, and all of a sudden my dad starts jumping all over the place. A gecko had gotten into the car and was, running around, and of course, it's all dark and we can't see, so everybody's hauling out. And,
Wow.
One of your geckos. Oh, Nizal will probably be eating that thing later.
Yeah. Geico geckos.
Okay. Geico geckos. Yes, we were talking about.
They probably came from a deep underground military base or something.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Too funny.
Did you guys hear about the lizard tunnels from LA area?
The lizard tunnels?
Reptilian tunnels from LA.
I know.
They pulled an article from like way back, like 40s or 50s or something, from the newspaper about it. Some guy was trying to check into it, and like they shut him down. Like he only could go so far with it. Yeah.
So what did he find while he was at it? I mean, before
nothing truly legitimate. He was suspecting they shut him down before he actually found anything legitimate, but there was already maps that he had found. So I don't know.
Bill's getting his tinfoil hat on.
Bill's getting a hat on? What?
Bill's getting his tinfoil hat on.
Oh, tinfoil hat on.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to shut this down. I have got to go make some dinner and have some hunters coming home that think they might be hungry. So might ought to feed them something.
Nice.
So
Okay. Well, thank you.
yes, thank you. I don't know. We made it about 35, 40 minutes with, actual information, and then the rest is just it just started going downhill from there.
Just chilling.
Yeah, it's just chilling. So, all right. Well, thank you all for
Good.
coming.
Yeah, good to see
appreciate
you,
it.
Robert Nozal.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for the tour.
Try some headphones if you don't have any. I thought you were gonna
Yeah.
get some.
Absolutely.
You'll hear it in a minute. It's cool.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Shaka
Well, I will let you go.
All right.
Thanks
We will
again.
chat
Have a good
later.
night.
Yes, thank you. Good night, everyone.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye, Bill.
Love you all.